But then, sometimes spam and all of that comes. So that's why we decided to put it separately.
All right. Yeah, it's otherwise it's difficult for me to get a sense of, what's happening, how they are responding, because I want it very interactive. Anyways.
Yeah.
So, hi everyone.
Sir, I'll give an introduction and then you can start.
Yeah. Should I?
Just 2 minutes, 3 minutes introduction.
Okay. Should I start?
I'll just confirm if we are live. Okay. Cool. We'll start.
Can you also
Greetings to everyone present. My name is Aditya Chakrabarti, and today I welcome you all to the grand launch of the 2022 edition of Startup Networking Conference, the annual series of entrepreneurial events organized by ECell VJTI. ECell VJTI is our institute's student-run entrepreneurship body aimed at promoting innovation and nurturing next-gen business leaders. The guest lecture series stands with the vision to facilitate the learning of students from the experiences and insights of esteemed personalities and founders who have done it all. For everyone to be tuning in live and to those who are going to watch it recorded later, grab a couch and sit tight. You don't want to miss this. We hope to make this season of SNC truly memorable for you all. And for the launch, we have a star-studded guest list. Today evening, we have Mr. Pulkit Jain, the co-founder of Vedantu, an edtech unicorn that we all are familiar with. He also co-founded Lakshya, a pan-India coaching institute. So I would like to take a moment to express how I feel right now. I have followed you on YouTube, genuinely on a variety of Vedantu channels, and I've always admired you as a teacher. Until last year, when I was preparing for JEE as a student, learning maths from you and hearing the phrase Baccho, no matter what, always have a y equals to x square graph on your face was a weekly phenomenon. Now, after all these months, hosting you is a total delight. For the audience, Vedantu, founded in 2011 and headquartered in Bengaluru, reached unicorn status last year after raising a staggering $100 million in Series E funding. The company has a goal of ensuring education reaches every corner of India. It caters to millions of students like us on its free and paid platforms. Vedantu has a proprietary Wave platform which revolutionizes online learning. Sir also takes pride in being a father, traveler, tech enthusiast, and a gamer, other than being an entrepreneur, which is pretty cool. Every student knows this. Being an IIT Roorkee alumni, co-founding several successful companies, one of them being $1 billion business, Pulkit Sir is truly someone we all look up to. Today, he would be sharing his journey building an edtech unicorn in this session of Startup Unscripted. This would be followed by a short Q&A session at the end, so stay tuned. So you can take over.
Awesome. Thanks so much for such encouraging and inspiring words for me. Thanks a lot. And I really take pride in having interacted with amazing children like you, amazing students like you. And this is what keeps me going. This is my fuel, my food, my energy, which keeps me going every day. So it's so amazing to connect with you all amazing students. And thanks a lot, VJTI, for having me at your prestigious platform. So today what I'm going to do. So today I have these two thoughts in my mind. One, I wanted to share, snippets of my journey of last 15, 16 years with you all. And in the process, I will want to discuss, the journey of entrepreneurship. And in that specifically, I would like to focus on, reasons, what should be your right reasons to start up, Because I'm sure many of you amazing youngsters here in this session, you must be thinking about, yeah, should I start up when I grow up? Should I start up in the campus? Should I take up a job? Can entrepreneurship be, my cup of tea? What does it take for me to become an entrepreneur? I'm sure these questions will be there in your mind. है कि नहीं है? Yes, right?
यही क्वेश्चन है सारे बच्चों के.
यही सब क्वेश्चंस होते हैं ना. तो चलो वहीं से शुरू करते हैं. So let me take you through my journey. तो मेरे पास कुछ स्लाइड्स भी हैं. तो let me just show you. Can you see? Can you see my screen?
So 1 second, I'll confirm. 1 second. Huh?
Yeah, sure. So till the time, you are figuring it out, let me just start. So guys, it all started for me way back in 2005 when I graduated from my college, IIT Roorkee. And, at that time, entrepreneurship wasn't a thing. If you think about this, Flipkart had not happened at that time, right? That was a time when Gmail had just come in. Facebook wasn't there, right? Just 3 years back, mobile phones had just, when I entered my college in the first year in 2001, when my parents used to call me, we used to, announcement used to be made on a loudspeaker, and then we used to come down, line up, and then, again the call used to come back on the regular landline. I come from that generation. So 2005 when I
the slides are
graduated,
visible.
it's visible, right?
Yeah.
So when I graduated in 2005, I was really not sure about what I wanted to do in life. I'm sure like many of you will be when you will be in your fourth years, right? I'm sure that money will be one of the primary factors then कि यार कौन सी company ज़्यादा job दे रही है उसी में चले जाते हैं, right? And I know that fourth year becomes sort of a competition who gets the placement first, who gets the highest paying package and everything. That similar was my journey. Got the job, but when I entered the job along with my friends, right? So in my journey, the role of friendship was very, very important. So these are my partners in crime. Vamsi, who is the CEO. This is me. This is Anand. This is Saurabh. और हम लोगों ने शुरू किया, मतलब कॉलेज से निकले, कुछ समझ में तो आ नहीं रहा था क्या करें. बट लकीली दिल चाहता है मूवी हैड कम एट दैट टाइम. याद है दिल चाहता है मूवी देखिए, आमिर खान. That movie introduced Goa to us. I know Goa is it's very popular now, but at that time, frankly, trust me, in the first 2 years of my college, I didn't know about Goa. Dil Chahta Hai came and our Goa trip started. And Goa mein kya hota hai yaar? Over a few beers, you dream, right? So whenever we were dreaming, our present jobs were not, sort of resonating with whatever that we were discussing about. And that led to somehow going to a small place in Punjab where Anand and Saurabh, two of these, us four friends were working in a chemical plant. वहां पे गए, वहां पे somehow बच्चों से बात हुई. The factory worker kids used to come and discuss about their children's future with these two guys, Anand and Saurabh. And वो फोन करके बताते थे, I was in Gurgaon, Vamsi was in Chennai. They used to call us and say, यार बड़ा मजा आता है बच्चों के साथ. We enjoy a lot with them. So we traveled to Punjab. This was 2005 December. And the pivotal moment for us in our life was 13th of December 2005. In fact, 12th of December 2005, when we entered a Kendriya Vidyalaya. All that we did in that school at that time was we encouraged and inspired these young kids by saying that, बच्चों, छोटी जगह से हो, फर्क नहीं पड़ता, you will do great in life. It doesn't matter if you're from a small place in this country. You will do great. Just have belief and trust on yourself. We were sincere in our talk, but when we saw tears rolling in those young eyes, यार मतलब हमारी literally फट गई. We never had such overwhelming experience in our life before. And 13 December 2005, next day, Anand got up, उसकी 6 बजे की shift थी in the factory in the morning. He got up and said कि यार दोस्तों मैं तो नहीं जा रहा, I am not going to factory anymore. हमने कहा भाई कल चल जा, सो जा अभी. बोलता नहीं मैं जाऊंगा ही नहीं. And he's from Bihar. His family has, three young sisters, one younger brother. And this guy is saying कि यार मैं तो job छोड़ रहा हूँ. तो हमने पूछा क्या करेगा? So he said यार I'll just teach kids. It was shocking for us to begin with, but half a day later, we all resonated with it. Yeah, life में क्या चाहिए? And there is a reason why I'm talking about this, because I'll connect it with a lot of things as I go ahead in this session. I'm so proud of the fact that at that time, our minds were not adulterated with lots of other factors in life. There were only two factors in my life at that time. यार तीन चार दोस्त साथ में रहेंगे, we will get to live together, the four of us, right? And second, yeah, we will enjoy doing this because we loved our interaction with these kids. And that's how our first journey in education started. So we left our jobs and then we started teaching kids in those small places, Barnala, Patiala, Sangrur. And over the next 6 years, we formed our first set of institution, the first institution called Lakshya. And amazing things happened there. We saw tremendous impact in young lives. Children like you, students like you know, we were amazed to see children getting into these top colleges and they're starting to dream big over the next few years. And we were wondering what is leading to this tremendous impact. Content to same hai, Newton's law I cannot change, aromatic compounds I cannot change, right? It's there, it's written in these books, right? There are good videos also. So what is it that is at play? What is creating great impact in the place where earlier nothing used to happen? And we realized that the biggest difference was the kind of people who had become teachers. Think about this. All of you amazing students here from such great colleges, people like us, we don't become teachers, do we? And even if we become teacher, we will never go to a Patiala or a Bhatinda or a Sangrur of this country. Jaoge kya? Will you go back to a small village by becoming a teacher? You will not. But that surprisingly happened at Lakshya, right? So our tagline became, and our belief system became teacher by choice. Only those individuals were allowed to become teachers at Lakshya who left their jobs to become one. For example, the first one beyond us four who became teacher was Harpreet. He was Vamsi's batchmate from IIT Bombay. He got his placement offer in NVIDIA Graphics in SF, San Francisco. He was visiting Punjab, he never went back. That is the power of being with amazing, energetic children. So that was Lakshya, right? But now let me go ahead. Lakshya eventually produced great results. Why are these important? Because these results depict the talent that every small corner of our country has, right? So Lakshya was not the rank generating machine, but I still talk about these ranks because they depict that, the talent of all types are there in every part of the country. They need exposure, they need inspiration, right? They need avenues to grow. But the problem which always happens in the life of an entrepreneur, and I'll come back to entrepreneurship as we discuss. पता है मैं एक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की डेफिनेशन रखता हूं आपके सामने. Before I go here, let me share a definition of entrepreneurship with you all. Look at this definition, guys. Do you see this? Yeah, a shop owner is also an entrepreneur. Agree? You agree with me? Right? And Flipkart is also is a startup, is started by entrepreneurs. Who is the real entrepreneur? Both are. But for you guys who are here in this session, the students of technology, the students who have grown up in the world of technology, I think the definition of entrepreneurship for you is to create impact at scale, to solve a problem, but at scale using technology. And that is what probably will inspire you. So that always happens in an entrepreneur's life. You can do something in a boutique way, in a small shop-like way, but students like you will be inspired to create that impact at a bigger scale with the use of technology. And that is what I think you should be inspired about. Okay? Now comes my second question before I go into my own journey. अब मैं आपसे कुछ questions पूछूंगा. And if you're attending this session on YouTube, unfortunately, I'm not able to see your comments right now. ठीक है? But आप मुझे बताना, आंसर करना इन चीजों का. My question is, what inspires you to become an entrepreneur? What inspires you to start up? आप अपने आंसर्स लिखिए जरा चैट में. ठीक है? मैं नहीं देख पा रहा हूँ. I'll not be able to see. But you can see what all of you guys are writing about. Be very open. बी ब्लंट, पैसा लग रहा है स्टार्टअप का एक रीजन, तो पैसा लिखो. अगर आपको लग रहा है फेम, तो फेम लिखो. वॉट एवर दैट कम्स टू योर माइंड, राइट डाउन योर कमेंट्स, योर रीजन टू स्टार्टअप इफ एट ऑल यू वांट टू. आपके क्या रीजंस हैं एक कंपनी स्टार्ट करने के, एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने के, या एक स्टार्टअप को स्टार्ट करने के? राइट इट डाउन. आई होप यू आर. नाउ, अब क्या आपके रीजंस ये हैं? Is one of the reason for you to be inspired to start up is because you're sick of working for someone or you don't want to work for someone? यार मुझे किसी के लिए काम नहीं करना है यार, मेरे को तो खुद का बॉस बनना है. राइट, आता है थॉट. So this is a very, very common thought that, I just can't work for anyone else. I want to be my own boss. But is that the right reason? When you start up, when you start your own company, do you become your own boss? I think it's a big myth, right? You become, first of all, let me tell you one thing. When you start up, your ego goes into dustbin. आपकी ईगो ना सबसे पहले डस्टबिन में चली जाती है. अगर आप आईआईटी से हो, वीजेटीआई से हो, या कहीं से भी हो, एमआईटी से, स्टैनफोर्ड से हो, to hell with that. When you start up, when you start your own venture, it teaches you humility. It should. If it doesn't, then आप कुछ कबाड़ा कर रहे हो. Because you start respecting everybody because you can't do it alone. You have your team with you, right? You learn how to take your team along. You learn how to discuss ideas with your entire team because they have to execute it, right? It's not you who is executing things on day-to-day basis, right? You start respecting your customers. You get more empathetic in understanding your customers and their needs, right? So do you remain your own boss? फिर आपके investors आ जाते हैं, आपका board होता है. No, you don't, right? So अगर आपका reason है that you will become your own boss by starting up, I think it's not the right reason for you to start. It can be one of the reasons, but it cannot be the only reason, right? आजकल ये बहुत ही कॉमन हो गया. यू वांट टू बिकम फेमस. यार पता है स्टार्टअप करेंगे यार, साला फेमस हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, नाम देख रहे हो कितने कितने फेमस लोग हैं. मैं आपको नाम दिखाता हूँ. लुक एट दिस, लुक एट दिस. विजय शेखर हो गया, दीपिंदर हो गया, रितेश हो गया, भावेश हो गया, सचिन बिनी बंसल हो गए. ये वंशी माय को फाउंडर एट वेदांतु. यार इन लोगों की फोटो वोटो आती है यार. यूरो आर्टिकल्स आते हैं. You get they receive awards on Economic Times and this and that. TV पे इनकी न्यूज आती है. But should that be your reason to start? नहीं यार, ये पता है फेम और ये सब चीजें लाइफ में बहुत तरीकों से आ सकती है. एंड दिस इज अ कंसिक्वेंस. इट इज नॉट अ रीजन फॉर यू टू डू समथिंग. ठीक है. एंड व्हेन यू रीच अ सर्टेन लेवल यू रियलाइज यार ये सब फालतू की चीजें से कोई खास फर्क नहीं पड़ता लाइफ में. ठीक है. सो डोंट. In fact, it goes to a point. A youngster jokingly was telling me, पता है पुलकित, जब हम लोग पता है टिंडर में अपनी प्रोफाइल में एंटरप्रेन्योर लिखते हैं ना, अवर व्हाट स्वाइप डू यू गेट, राइट और लेफ्ट, राइट? तो यार हमारी प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ गेटिंग दैट स्वाइप increases when there is entrepreneur written on our profile. Maybe लिख लो, but please don't make it your reason to start up, right? Becoming famous is a consequence, not your central reason. मैं बताऊंगा कि क्यों रीजंस की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ. आई विल टॉक मोर अबाउट दैट एज आई गो अहेड. देन लॉट ऑफ पीपल, एंड वेरी राइटली सो, दे टॉक अबाउट यार पता है मुझे तो पैसा कमाना है. आई वांट टू बिकम फिल्दी रिच, आई वांट टू बिकम वेल्दी, एंड द वे टू अर्न शिट लोड ऑफ मनी इज टू स्टार्ट योर ओन वेंचर. अपना वेंचर बनाऊंगा, कंपनी बेच दूंगा यार, ठीक है, या फिर कुछ खूब सारी फंडिंग हो जाएगी एंड आई विल बिकम फिल्दी रिच. ऐसा नहीं होता. First of all, very, 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 very less percentage of all the startups reach a point where you as a founder can actually make wealth, right? Otherwise, you are a salaried person, right? And for example, if I take my own journey, for longest time, I couldn't take the salary as well. कंपनी में पैसा नहीं है, मैं सैलरी सबसे पहले अपनी कटाऊंगा ना यार, right? Because there is a thought in my mind which I want to bring to life, right? And I'll do whatever it takes to make it happen. तो सबसे पहले आप लोग अपनी सैलरी खुद कटाओगे, but it's salary. You are yet not the funding which you hear about, big funding coming to the company. The funding is coming to the company, right? It's not getting into the founder's pocket, right? So, and the valuation. So don't go by these valuations and everything, right? You are not making money as a founder for the longest time. One. But if you have to make money, why should you become a founder? Now, team members in all these fast growing companies and big companies, young startups as well, are making so much wealth simply through ESOPs. आपको ESOPs पता है क्या होते हैं? ESOPs are the stock options. So imagine if you join Vedantu, right? So Vedantu gives you, say, 20, 30 lakhs worth of ESOP at a present valuation. अब अगर वेदांतु ग्रो करेगा तो आप भी ग्रो करोगे. सो वेदांतु मान लो 3x ग्रो कर गया इन टर्म्स ऑफ वैल्यूएशन. सो आपकी जो ये ESOP की वैल्यू है, इट विल आल्सो ग्रो 3x, राइट? There comes time, there come times where the company gives you liquidity options. कंपनी आपका स्टेक बाय बैक कर लेती है, और a new investor coming in can purchase your stake or partly or part stake, giving you tremendous amount of money. For example, at Vedantu, last year we did a ESOP buyback of around 35 odd crores. What does it mean? That company purchased 35 crore worth of stake distributed among the team members, and they got, many of them earned crores of rupees in the process. But these are team members. So today, to earn money, you need not be a founder, right? So this is also very important for you to understand. So look at this data. In 2021 itself, employees made $335 million through ESOPs. $335 million sort of got circulated in the ecosystem among the team members of these startups, right? Imagine the kind of money that people must have made. Getting the idea? Okay. Why am I telling you all this? So that you can fine tune your reason to start up. But fine tune करना जरूरी क्यों है? आता हूँ उसके ऊपर. ये तो मुझे लगता है डिस्कस करना भी जरूरी नहीं है. Because you want to work less. अगर कोई ऐसा सोच रहा है तो भाई मतलब रहने दो यार. ठीक है? If you thought that you had night outs during your JEE preparation, if you think that you work hard during your college, तो भाई स्टार्टअप के टाइम पे सबको ना 5x कर दो. ठीक है? Because to build a venture, it will take your heart and soul and bloody everything. ठीक है? मतलब अगर गर्लफ्रेंड है तो पक्का ब्रेकअप हो जाएगा, बॉयफ्रेंड है तो ब्रेकअप हो जाएगा. ठीक है? इफ यू आर मैरिड तो हस्बैंड या वाइफ से जूते पड़ेंगे, सब होगा, बिकॉज यू विल नेवर हैव टाइम. ठीक है? आई एम जस्ट talking about this in a very jokingly, but I hope you get a sense, right? Don't take me otherwise. But you will always be driven. Your mind will be occupied. You're continuously thinking about your venture. How do I do things? It is failing. How do I make it work? Right? You're continuously thinking. If you're not, then your venture will not succeed. Right? So work less to chhodi do. If you want to exit, lot of people think कि यार मैं कंपनी बनाऊंगा, 2 साल में बेच दूंगा $100 million में, मजा आ जाएगा. Yeah, sounds like a dream life, right? But you don't build your venture thinking about exit. Because again, it's not the right reason. It won't help you do the right things. Your reasons should be correct so that you do the right things. Becoming famous, earning money, you're exiting from the company or whatever, right? Are the consequences, not the reason. So reason kya bhai? Why will you want to start? Dustin puts it in the very nice way. Look at this slide. I really love this image, so I put it here. Common reasons: glamour, want to become your own boss, flexibility, to make shitload of money. These are the common reasons for people to start up. But the truth is, the ugly truth, यार बहुत स्ट्रेस होगा, बहुत डिप्रेशन होगा, हर थोड़े दिन में लगेगा मैं ही सबसे बड़ा गधा हूं, मेरे ऊपर लिखा हुआ है सर के ऊपर कि भाई तू ही गधा है, राइट? कुछ हो नहीं रहा, कुछ मूव नहीं कर रहा, आइडिया नहीं चल पा रहा, all the experiments which I did bloody failed, nobody is putting money in me, right? Responsibility. When I started up, I was 22 years old, and suddenly I was like, एक सेकेंड, ये responsibility कहाँ से आ गई? मेरे टीम मेंबर्स की सैलरीज, राइट? मैंने जो रेंट दिया है उसका पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? बच्चों की रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, भाई इतनी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कहाँ से आ गई 22 इयर्स की एज में? सो दिस ह्यूज रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. एवरीवन एल्स विल बी योर बॉस. यू विल बी लाइक प्लीडिंग, भाई मेरा काम कर दे, भाई ये कर दे, यार प्लीज पैसा दे दो. So, खुद के बॉस तो आप कभी नहीं होने वाले. यू आर द रोल मॉडल. sounds good on in this line, right? It's so troubling. Imagine if you have to be a role model every time. यार मेरी फटी पड़ी है भाई, मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है, but I still have to, have a strong face in front of my team because my team is looking up to me. I cannot, put a weak face. I always need to be full of positivity and passion. It takes so much emotional toil to do so, right? And you're continuously working, right? But you can go through all these ugly truths only when your reason to start is very, very strong. And that reason is you cannot not do it. You can't not do it. There is an idea, there is a thought that has come to your mind. There is a problem that you see in the world which you feel so much for that you're driven to solve it. आप रात को सोते हो तो भी वही आइडिया आता है, आप किसी से बात करते हो, whenever you're discussing with your friend, you passionately talk about it, you believe in it, you believe that you can solve this problem, right? And this idea is not going out of your mind. Then that is the reason when you say, dude, you know what, भाड़ में गई मेरी job, भाड़ में गया ये सब कुछ, I will bloody do it. And then you come up with such strong belief. A lot of students ask me this question, यार अपने parents को मैं कैसे मनाऊं? How do I convince my parents, right? If I have to leave my job to start up, right? How do I convince investors to give money to me? I have one single answer to you, and I'm telling you with my own experience. When you believe in something so much, your your entire body, your energy, your tone is filled with so much energy, passion, positivity, and belief that people around you start believing in you. बट अगर आपके रीजन बहुत शैलो है ना, इफ योर रीजन इज यार पैसा कमाना है जल्दी से जाके, द पिच दैट यू विल गिव टू इन्वेस्टर और योर कन्वर्सेशन विथ योर फ्रेंड और योर गर्लफ्रेंड और बॉयफ्रेंड और योर पेरेंट्स, दे विल सेंस अ शैलोनेस इन यू. यू गेटिंग द सेंस? ठीक है, तो ये बिलीफ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये रीजन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट? ये नहीं होगा ना कहीं मर जाओगे यार, कहीं ना कहीं अटक जाओगे. This is what I wanted to share with you all. I hope I could make some sense, and I'll go back to my story and I'll try to connect some of these points in my story as well. Okay, but please ensure that your reason to become an entrepreneur is a deeper one and not a shallow one of just earning a money or just becoming famous and something like that. एक प्रॉब्लम लेके सॉल्व करना है यार, मजा आएगा ना. Life is a journey. Enjoy the journey. And another thing, let me also tell you one thing. Majority startups fail. So should you be worried? No. Remember, you have nothing to lose. All the students in this session, you are from good colleges, you are driven. आप इस session को attend करने आए हो, itself tells me that you are driven. Remember, if you start, 95% chances है, 99% chances है you will fail. तो क्या हो गया? What is there to lose? It's a great experience. All the companies today give very high weightage to your entrepreneurial experience. So imagine if I'm recruiting somebody for Vedantu, and if that candidate is a 25, 26-year-old boy or a girl, right? And if he or she tells me that, I started something, but I failed. भाई मेरे लिए ना वो suddenly 10x better candidate as compared to someone else. Because this guy or girl has seen so much depth and he has entrepreneurial bent of mind and he has learned. It's like doing a crash course in management, running your own startup. ठीक है, ये क्रैश कोर्स है, पता है एमबीए में जाके हम पैसा खर्च करके कुछ खास सीख के नहीं आते हैं, फ्रैंकली इफ यू आस्क मी, बट डूइंग स्टार्टअप यू लर्न सो मच. सो नथिंग टू लूज. डोंट फियर फेलियर. होने दो फेल, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? एटलीस्ट यू हैव अ स्टोरी टू टेल ना. रिमेंबर, create a life where you can tell beautiful stories to your children when you grow up. I mean, just a way of putting it. But life is what? It's a journey. It's a set of stories. मस्त कहानियां बनाओ ना. और फेल नहीं हुए तो कौन सी कहानी बनी? ऐसी क्या कहानी जिसमें फेलियर ना हो? समझ रहे हो? ठीक है. So चलो. So let me come back and hey, you keep me updated on time. If I'm taking more time, just let me know, right? So I'll just now.
It's fine.
I'll go back to my journey. So I talked about my journey till Lakshya. You know, I went to Patiala in 2006, started Lakshya there. Um, Great impact, amazing people, phenomenal impact in the entire region. But suddenly came this thought, yeah, how do I impact more lives? Patiala, Chandigarh, Panchkula, Zirakpur, Bhatinda, Sangrur, great. यहाँ पे तो बहुत impact हुआ. But why should only children from these areas get the impact? Why can I go to all the small villages and the towns in the country? That is where the Laksh model failed in my mind. Because in the offline way, it was so difficult to go to every nook and corner in this country. And the problem is, the best of the teachers will not go to all the villages in the country, right? So it fails there. तो क्या करूं यार? तो वहां से thought आया वेदांतु का, right? I realized that tech probably will have some solution. So I shifted to Bangalore in 2011 end. That is when I taught my last batch at Laksh. And I came to Bangalore. I didn't have any team, just the name and the thought, weird thought ki kuch to hoga. And I was really inspired by this name, Vedantu. Yeah, can I create a platform, a technology where, true knowledge, Ved, can be, sort of spread across the country to every child in every small part of the country through a network जिसको हम संस्कृत में तंतु बोलते हैं, right? But frankly, 2012, 2013, 2014 mid, I had built products, but it just didn't work. It didn't work. सब फेल हो गया. ठीक है, मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. पहले तो मुझे टेक्नोलॉजी खास समझ में नहीं आती थी. आई वॉज अ टीचर. आई केम टू बैंगलोर. इट टुक me some time to figure things out. I got two young kids from Roorkee to work with me, right? We built a lot of technologies, but it just didn't solve the problems which we wanted to solve. So finally, in 2014 mid, we gave the source code of whatever that we had built to the people who were our customers by then. It had become a B2B kind of a model. Didn't work out, right? We again set back in 2014. We sat together and we revised the problem. करना क्या है यार? कर क्या रहे हैं? We revised that यार problem क्या है? हमें best of the individuals को teacher बनने में help करना है. And we have to take the impact of these amazing teachers to all the amazing children in the country, and that too at a fraction of a cost, right? So whatever that we had built till now was not solving for it. So that is when we sort of stumbled upon the idea of live online teaching and learning. This thought of creating a live teaching learning platform came to us in 2014 mid. तो live करके कुछ होता नहीं था. If you remember in 2014, imagination was we used to work out of a flat. और वहां पे white table होती है एक, we had a white table where we used to write with the marker on the table. तो suddenly we realized, अरे यार, why can't we create a platform where a child and a teacher could sit across the table, and they have this white table where they can write as well, and they can talk to each other, see each other. That was the imagination, and we got really happy. यार ये तो मस्त है यार, इससे प्रॉब्लम तो सॉल्व हो सकती है. टीचर कैन बी एनीवेयर, चाइल्ड कैन बी एनीवेयर. तो बना के देखते हैं. We didn't find it happening anywhere, so we quickly coded a platform, right? हम करीबन 6 लोगों की टीम थी. So we quickly coded a platform and we started experimenting. Again, line से खूब सारी चीजें जो figure out नहीं हुई. So we started in 2014 mid, right? We were a small team. आप जो यहाँ पे देख रहे हो, this was the team at that time. Night out मारते थे, मस्ती करते थे, right? But we all were inspired to solve this problem. I still remember the day when first live session happened. I still remember the day when the first 1,000 sessions happened, right? To today, where millions of sessions happen every day. It's been an inspiring journey of lots of failures and learnings. So first few years में हमें product market fit ही समझ में नहीं आया. So when we launched, in the first 2 years, I realized that we were doing one-to-one, one teacher, one child. But I realized that, by the end of 2015 and mid of 16, majority families on the platform were not from India. Around 60-70% families studying on the Vedantu were from Middle East SF, न्यूयॉर्क, सिंगापुर, मलेशिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया। हमने कहा तो गड़बड़ हो गई यार, जाना था गांव गांव में, पहुंच गए दुबई। Vedantu was started to go to every village in the country, and look what is happening. People from Dubai are studying. So good, but that is not why Vedantu existed, right? So we had to pivot. Why was it happening? Because in 1-to-1, the price is very high, but a lot of fundamental questions got answered in the process. कौन पढ़ेगा, price क्या होगी, are there teachers who can teach, is bandwidth an issue, right? Are there tools to teach, right? Is on what devices will the session happen? Will children learn the curriculum or will they ask a doubt and go out? There were so many fundamental questions, but most of these questions got answered. And then came another round of deep investment in innovation. Here, how can we decrease the price, but still, teach very effectively? And that is what led to our innovations around how group classes can happen, how group classes can be, interactive and effective, right? So we over the next 2 years did lots of experiments. 2017 was the time when we were on the verge of dying down. पैसा खत्म हो गया। अभी अब देखो क्या हो गया, मैं 2011 में बैंगलोर आया, 2011, 2014 failures, 14 got a new idea, 2016 I realized that यार ये तो product market fit ही नहीं आ रहा है. We did raise some funds. 2017 still in the figuring out phase, पैसा भी खत्म हो गया. That was a time when we had to let go of, very unfortunately, 50% of the team members. We were almost an 80-member team at that time. But that was the time when our group classes had just started evolving after 2 years of experiments, right? We had filed our first set of patents around our innovations also. But things changed after that, right? Then 2017, 18, 19, things started going up. And then we were getting confident कि यार हाँ ये हो तो सकता है, right? So it's been it takes, it's a big journey, right? You at times you look at a company and say कि यार अच्छा ये तो यूनिकॉर्न हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. But when you look deep in it, you realize यार आधी जिंदगी तो फेलियर में निकल गई, आधी जिंदगी तो सेल्फ डाउट में निकल गई, right? The founders go through all these things. Have I been in self doubt? Yes. Was I depressed? Yes. Did I feel that I'm the most dumb person in the world? Yes. All these are truths. But if I look back, amongst all these things, the only reason why I, along with my friends and team members, could sustain it was a strong belief कि साला करना है यार, मजा आएगा करेंगे तो, बच्चे गांव गांव के पढ़ेंगे तो मजा आएगा. This is my reason. It may not inspire you. You may be inspired by some other reason, right? No reason is a small reason, but you need to have a reason. नहीं तो यार, वो बोलते हैं ना, the going will definitely get tough, and when the going gets tough, the tougher gets going, right? So that is what you need to be, right? So I'll just skip it. This is where then the journey. 15 maybe we had raised some funds. 16 maybe we evolved our one to few classes. 2017 में group classes evolved. Our first set of patents were also filed here. A lot of deep innovations. Then in 18 things started changing. We started growing, right? And I went to China. I met an education company there. With my belief, I could resonate with the founder of that company, and that company became one of the investors, right? And somehow we survived. Then in 19, we raised Series C of $35 million. Then things started shaping up well. Then GGV Capital, Legend, they all came in 2020. Then Co2 came, Tiger came, right? And then we recently raised a $100 million round at $1 billion valuation. But it's been a journey. अब आप मुझसे पूछोगे सब कुछ sorted है क्या? नहीं. Still, I don't know hundreds of the answers to thousands of the questions. It still is a journey, right? So never say कि it is successful. No, it's a journey. ये सब नंबर ना देखने में बड़े बड़े लगते हैं, but it's all part of the journey. Never go by these numbers, right? And don't get inspired by these numbers only. ठीक है? So yes, I'll not waste my time on all these things. I mean, your time, sorry, right? Just few things. Trust me, 90% of the startups will fail in the first 5 years of inception. डरना नहीं है, right? I'll leave you with this thought, and I'll take your questions now. That I hope I could make some sense to you. But please remember that सोचना मत. If you want to become something, then bloody do something. करो, क्या हो जाएगा, फेल हो जाएंगे ना यार, कुछ तो करेंगे, टेंशन क्या है, ठीक है. सो दिस इज मोस्टली फ्रॉम ब्ला ब्ला फ्रॉम माय साइड. आप लोग क्वेश्चंस पूछिए. आई वुड लव टू शेयर एज टू बेस्ट ऑफ माय एक्सपीरियंस एंड नॉलेज, राइट.
So you're like always, you're the best friend, philosopher, guide. Like, itne time baad, like I heard your voice and you explained it apne andaz mein. It was so good. And to be honest, all of these things that you told me about, the reason about becoming an entrepreneur and things like that, all of us, like when we have discussions, we all have these very reasons only usually. It's very rare that somebody wants to like, something else other than these reasons. And it was a good reality check. I learned a lot. I'm sure everybody learned a lot. So some questions. So who's your role model or who's your favorite entrepreneur?
यार कोई एक रोल मॉडल नहीं है. सो आई डोंट हैव वन रोल मॉडल बिकॉज as you grow, right, different things you learn, your different problems in life, right? And when you look at people around you, at that stage of your life, you take inspiration from different people because of their having solved certain problems, right, in the process. So there is no one guy that I look up to as such. And I keep reading books, I keep talking to people. I'm in Bangalore, where I'm very fortunate of being connected with all the amazing founders here, and I keep learning from them. तो मैं एलान मस्क जैसा नाम नहीं लेना चाहता, क्योंकि मेरे को एक्सेस नहीं है उनका, वन. एंड साउंड्स वेरी प्रोडिजियस. इट्स लाइक थिंकिंग अबाउट ऑल इंडिया रैंक 1. मेरी औकात नहीं होती, ठीक है. सो I get my reality check from the people in my ecosystem, and these are good friends, and I learned a lot from them. My role model in my life has been my father and my mother. I've learned so much from them when I was growing up, and I owe a lot, because it's a bent of brain, the way you think. And I think your parents shape your way of thinking a lot as you grow up. So वो उनको मैं काफी वो करता हूँ, frankly.
Got it, sir. Got it, sir. Another question would be, so this is the question. So how do you approach the concept of risk taking? Like, as you were saying, 2017, 2014, you everything had dried up and, you couldn't see a future. So at what point do people are like, should decide to like leave what they're doing and try something else, or should they continue? How would you approach that?
Exactly. So, when I look back, this 2014 and 17 phases, when I look back, I realized these were phase shifting phases for me, right? The trajectory changed. And the only advice that I can give to youngsters is, if you believe in something, if you imagine you have been doing something, for last 1.5 years, your energy is drained and things have not worked out, right? Ask yourself one single question. Do you still have belief that this thing will work out, or this idea has potential, right? Or you still believe in doing this, right? The next, if the answer is yes, the next is, do you have energy left to pursue this belief? If the answer is yes, take all the risk that you can. Go all in. पोकर खेलते हो ना, go all in, right? बट अगर इनका आंसर नेगेटिव है, यार बहुत मेहनत कर ली, लगता अच्छा है, बट स्टिल ना पूरा 100% बिलीफ नहीं है, क्या पता है यार, कुछ फील नहीं आ रही है मेरे को, राइट? अब मेरे में एनर्जी नहीं बची टू परस्यू इट. डोंट. आंसर इज वेरी क्लियर. बी ऑब्जेक्टिव. 0 and 1, इट्स बाइनरी. लीव इट, मूव इनटू समथिंग एल्स. एंड ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, पीपल आस्क मी, मैं जॉब भी करता रहूंगा बट साइड में ना ये थोड़ा थोड़ा ट्राई भी कर लूंगा. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, unless until you go all in, things don't move. So अगर belief है, energy बची है, take 100% risk and go all in is my suggestion, right?
Okay, so I think that answers it. Another question that I came across was tech space is getting quite crowded. So what's the plan for Vedantu? Like, how would it go ahead from here?
Fair enough. तो पहली तो चीज यार क्या है ना, there are two ways of looking at it. Crowded, मतलब if you look at it, there are only 2-3 big names today. So in a way, that is good because we have a huge market potential going ahead, right? And we have our own zones. And all these big names that you hear about, they don't operate in the same category. Some operate in a higher education or test prep. Vedantu operates in kindergarten to 12, right? Where another very big player is Baiju, right? Now, how do I look at it? So, and with this, I will also talk about anxiety. बहुत बार आप लोगों के साथ हुआ होगा, when you think about an idea, the first thing that you do is you Google. I did this when I thought about doing something in tech in 2011-12, way back in 2011-12. मैं ना गूगल में सर्च करता था, कोई आइडिया आता था, मैं गूगल में सर्च करता था. I used to find one small company somewhere in the US and I used to get depressed. Shit, ये भी किसी ने कर लिया. Right? So never think like that. There will always be anxieties by looking at people in the industry doing certain things. But if you feel that you have a niche, you have a USP, or you believe that the quality of the service is poor, I can make it much, much better, right? You always have a market, right? To create for your own self. I'm not going into the calculations of कितना बड़ा market potential and everything, but your gut feeling. यार पता है बहुत बड़ा है, बहुत बड़ी problem to solve है. Yes, there are few players, right? But you know what? I have a uniqueness, and I believe that I can make the service or the product much much better. You have a market to create. Talking about Vedantu, we have our own, for example, uniqueness. So when the others were selling videos, right, we started the concept of live online learning in the country. And we had tremendous belief in it because of our being teachers ourselves and our taking the classes ourselves, right? So we created our own unique identity in this ecosystem, which helps us create a big market for ourselves, right? In the competitive environment which is there. And we believe that we can do it like 5x 10x better than others. वो तो बिलीफ है, वो होना जरूरी है. हम कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे वो सेपरेट बात है, बट एटलीस्ट वो बिलीफ है, राइट? Which is important.
Do you have time for more questions?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, so a personal question from my side.
Huh.
I've heard all the faculty that work at Vedantu say that the work culture over here is like no other. It's totally unmatched by any other platform. So what differently do you all do to earn such praise?
यार दिल वाले लोग हैं यार सारे, in the sense. So the culture क्या होता है ना? What is culture? Culture is set of values that you believe in, certain rituals that you celebrate. जैसे आपका हर कॉलेज में होता है, जैसे VJTI, आपके VJTI में कुछ रिचुअल्स होंगे, राइट? कि यार ये सब लोग सेलिब्रेट करते हैं, सब लोग इस तरीके से बिहेव करते हैं, सब लोग ये चीज नहीं करते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल, और इट्स अनसेड वे में कि ये नहीं करना है. सो दैट इज सो वेदांतु is a team of teachers and academicians. It's a team of people who have taken conscious choice in life to become teachers or academicians, and we've been very very picky about letting people enter the team, right? If your reason to join is very shallow, as I talked about the entrepreneurship also, then you are not a team member for Vedantu, right? तो अगर same mindset के लोग जुड़ेंगे, right? And if we together celebrate the evolution of a child more than the business numbers, then automatically a culture starts getting created, a tribe gets created, right? So I'm really really proud about the kind of this tribe that we have at Vedantu. The singular thing which inspires most of the people at Vedantu is this thought that यार गांव गांव के बच्चे की लाइफ में इम्पैक्ट कैसे लेके आना है, वेरी सिंपली पुट. और उसी के लगे रहते हैं, उसी को सेलिब्रेट कर लेते हैं, उसी में मजे ले लेते हैं, आपस में खुश हो जाते हैं. So that's it, as simple as that.
Okay, so I think we don't have a lot of more questions, but one last question. That would be, as you said, that you all have already patented some algorithms, some machine learning, artificial intelligence into your platform. But what is the way ahead? Are you all exploring any new technologies like blockchain, Web3, anything of that sort? In that field, how do you look ahead? What are
So,
you all
my way of looking at technology is slightly different. There are two ways. What are the upcoming technologies? What can I do with them? Is one way of approaching it. Second, I have a problem to solve. See, I'll tell you what is my problem to solve. Very simply put, what is the role of technology for Vedantu in EdTech? See, what I've realized is Lakshya, मेरा previous institute जो था, that was super personalized, impactful, beautiful culture. It was like a dream place for children, right? But it couldn't grow. It was a boutique, right? So in education, we have always had beautiful boutiques: MIT, VJTI, IIT, Stanford, Lakshya, and many such, right? जैसे Super 30 हो गया बिहार में, या आप बोलते थे विद्या मंदिर in Delhi, right? There are many such beautiful boutiques, right? But they couldn't scale. On the other side, we have scale. ठीक है? The problem with this scale and this impact or this personalization is they are like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, they're inversely proportional. You try to increase the personalization, you can't scale. You try to scale, you can't personalize. Example is YouTube. Today we teach around 13 million students every month on YouTube. But मुझे नहीं पता उन बच्चों का क्या होता है, कितना पढ़ते हैं, नहीं पढ़ते, नेक्स्ट क्लास में आते हैं कि नहीं आते. I don't know, right? The role of technology at Vedantu is, how do I go against this Heisenberg's uncertainty principle here? How do I increase the scale, that is affordability and accessibility, at the same time keep the effectiveness and personalization intact? Now, to solve this extremely difficult problem, whatever technology that we can, whatever solution that we can find or we can imagine, then we see what technology can make it happen. So technology is an enabler for us. Technology is not the द मेन थिंग से मैं ब्लॉकचेन को पकड़ के नहीं बैठूंगा. हाँ, ब्लॉकचेन इसको यूज करने में काम आएगी, then I will use the blockchain. Are you getting the perspective? For example, VR or metaverse. Can metaverse solve this problem for me? I will use it. But I will not say कि यार मेटा आ गया है, अब ना मेटावर्स को यूज करके कुछ बनाता हूँ. You're getting the sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope I could make some sense to all of you guys.
And so, like, if somebody wants to start a business at this age, like at my age in college, so is that a right time, or do you think we should like wait for a few years, have some money so that we can at least bootstrap? Like, what should be the right age to try?
There is no right age here, or never feel compelled to do things at a certain age, right? I know a lot of youngsters who have started companies at your age, right? And they have actually built great big companies. They have dropped out from college as well. But should you take pressure of it? No. अगर अपॉर्चुनिटी बन जाए, आइडिया आ जाए, एक दो आपको साथ में दोस्त मिल जाए, co-founders, then go ahead and do it. To the point, you can take a drop from the college also if things are working out. Don't worry about the money. If you have belief, if your idea is good, money aa jayega. There are a lot of funds. In fact, I know a fund which is now funding ventures in the college. I think Campus Fund है उसका नाम, right? Maybe you guys can connect with me on LinkedIn, and if you're doing something, I can share some connects with you guys, right? But there are there are students starting in the college, raising funds also, dropping out also. And then there are people who do it after 10 years of being in industry. They start at a very interesting stage, right? अभी जैसे ट्विटर के जो इंडिया हेड है, उनने अपना एक स्टार्टअप किया है, फॉर एग्जांपल, राइट? जो मिंत्रा के भी हेड थे, he started a company with huge amount of funding to begin with, because now these people come with credibility. They understand the industry a lot. They have become experts, right? Don't think that मैं कुछ पैसा कमा लूंगा तो करूंगा. नहीं. Think that I may enter an industry. When I've worked in an industry for 4 or 5 years, probably I will understand the nuances of that industry so much that I will get some deep idea about how can I solve deeper problems in that sector. Don't think about that I will earn some money which will help me do that. पैसा आ जाएगा यार. In today's world, raising seed round is super easy. Trust me. If you have good idea, ठीक है. If you show the execution well, पैसा हो जाएगा. ठीक है. कोई सही टाइम नहीं है. जब बने कर लेना. प्रेशर मत लेना. ठीक है.
Okay. So I think that's about it. Baki questions would be repetitive then. I'll do a small word of thanks. So as this amazing session draws to an end, I would like to thank Pulkit Sir for sparing some time from his busy schedule for us and guiding us for building our future and for our budding businessmen over here. I am sure everyone would agree that it was super insightful and like script मैंने बनाया था, but then this is what I genuinely think this session was so good. I would also like to thank ECell VJTI for organizing this part of SNC. I hope to see you in the future events that follow through the week. So thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. All the very best.
So if you want, I'll just share the link of the